Hey guys, it's Rosie Mum Anna back at it, and today I am doing my Maybelline palette collection as an aside, pardon me, why you should not collect eyeshadow palettes. So when I first got into watching beauty YouTube, I got into like Tati, Jaclyn Hill, Jordan Sparks originally, The Fancy Face. I like Teresa is Dead, Morgan Turner, Michelle Wang, Samantha Ravendale, Samantha March, Abby, her last name's escaping me, Nisi Pisa. So a wide variety, but like a lot of people when I first got into beauty YouTube, I wanted all the things. I wanted a guru makeup collection. Not only am I in Australia, which is notoriously expensive for makeup, but I'm in Tasmania, which is a small island state in the bottom of Australia. So you might have seen, like on beauty news and stuff, they quite often feature things at Mecca. Tasmania got its first Mecca store last year. Prior to that, in Hobart, the southern city, we had one department store that sold sort of higher-end makeup, and it had a Clinique counter, an Estee Lauder counter, and a MAC counter, I believe. So like drugstore or online was your only option. So I wanted all the makeup, and like everyone, I got obsessed with eyeshadow palettes. Now, a Maybelline eyeshadow palette is around $30 originally. So the very first eyeshadow palette I got was Blushed Nudes. Now, this came out around the time of Naked 3. No, I don't use this anymore. This is really old. Excuse my janky nails, by the way. This came out at the time as Blush 3 by Urban Decay, and I have L'Oreal Palette La Nude, and this was sort of Maybelline's version of this. I watched Tati do a video on it. I love pink eyeshadows, and this was the one I had access to, and although I'm aware that the quality is not better now, even compared to Maybelline's own standards, I actually loved this palette when I got it. Then okay, so this is what I mean. My collection is extensive. I'm going to have ones you didn't even know there was. The 24 Karat Nudes by Maybelline. So, like, they started off the nudes with the Nude Nudes. That's the one I don't have, I believe. And I think there's Smoky Nudes as well. But I do have the 24 Karat Nudes, which is like an interesting... It was a bit of ahead of its time. I really love, like, the khaki and the really murky burgundy, the taupe shades there. They're all matte in the shadow as well, except for the gold, which is 24 karat and is actually, I'll give it its dues, is a really nice, smooth, deep gold colour. So that is Maybelline's 24 karat nudes. Now here's the Brights palette that you never knew Maybelline had. This is the Graffiti Nudes. I like, at least Urban Decay dulls everything down for their Naked palettes, and I guess this is kind of a bit like their new one of like duochrome nudes. Actually, there's a duochrome in here, which is like there's nothing nude about these, but yeah, this green it's a pretty common duochrome. MAC does it too. It's the green to red, but like Maybelline has put down not a bad attempt at it. It's a really pretty shadow, and like, yeah, come on, admit it, you never knew Maybelline had a Brights palette like that, did you? So there's Blush Nudes, 24 Karat Nudes, Graffiti Nudes. Then the next palette I got was Burgundy Bar, which at the time I thought was a step up for their formula. Was the same basic setup as the nude palettes, like same amount of shadows, but yeah, the formula was really nice. I've always appreciated on the back how they've suggested, like when I was beginning to use eyeshadow, I love the fact how it would have set you up with the looks using 2 shadows, looks using 3 shadows, and looks using 4 shadows from the palette. Then, although there is another one called the something bar, the next palettes I got access to in Australia were Maybelline Countdown palette, which was a New Year's collection and has a lipstick that I have too, which is really nice. And this is like the warm shades on one side and the cool shades on another, with 2 larger shades in the middle to either use as highlight or eyeshadow shades. So it was a step away from the design, the setup of the nudes palettes, but and yeah, it was, you know, it was good. It was about as good as Burgundy Bar, so better than the nudes palettes, but not as good as some of the ones that had come. The next one after that followed once again the same formula, and this is this one got a hiding. You can tell this is the Total Temptations palette, but see, you can see here, $29.96, and then I got it for $12. Same thing, cool side, warm side. The warm sides are really similar. A couple of shades are, and two larger ones in the centre used for highlights. The gold one's really good. The pink one doesn't really do much, but yeah, so that got those two palettes. Then next I got access to, so this is the, like, there's the Burgundy bar, this is the matte bar. I don't know, like, they should release them in order, but maybe in Australia we just get them differently. So this is just matte shadows, and Maybelline has two matte formulas. One's really creamy and one's really dry and bumpy, and the creamy one's really good, the dry and bumpy one not so much, and there's both in here. So the almost, I find the berry tone shades are the creamier ones, and the sort of warmer tone ones I find to be this bumpy dry formula, but some of the shades in here are lovely, and it was quite a novel thing for a drugstore palette to have an entirely matte shadow. Then next two I got two of my favourite, and I never sort of saw them talked about. I don't know if they weren't released everywhere. So these are the City Kits, and one is Urban Light, and this is Maybelline. It's like, you know how there's the Secret Brights palette, but this is like the Secret Duochrome Festival Pastel palette. So these have like a blush, a highlighter, and then 8 eyeshadows. Now the two in the middle you can see are like, there's a duochrome white to green and a white to pink, and you can also top them over the other shadows. The quality of these are really good. They're like, as I was saying earlier, Maybelline's